Now friends, could the Ruger EC9s actually be one of the best budget handguns on the market? I've had some time with this now. I'm a huge LCP fan. If you haven't caught my videos, take a look at this one. The Ruger EC9s is essentially the big brother to the LCP. One of the main reasons why I was even interested in picking it up was because of the ergonomics. It feels just like the big brother to an LCP. LCP1, that is. It is comfortable. The angle of the grip is very attainable. You go right into it. It's comfortable. In my opinion, with all the ammo I've put through it, there's very low recoil, very low kickback, and it just feels good. Now granted, it is a single stack, and it's only a 7+1. But for someone who's just getting into an entry-level budget handgun, and you're looking at the Sky and the High Point and guns like that, there are a few other options, but I've had some time with a lot of them. Most of them have given me at least one or two failures, whereas the EC9s has not. I ran cheap ammo through it. I ran a few dirty rounds through it that were in my dirty box. I have a box of dirty ammo that I like to run through some handguns when I'm first trying them out. This is my gun. I purchased it with my own money, and it was only $200. Now, granted, I got a good deal, and it was basically brand new, used, but brand new, and it came with 7 magazines, 3 pinky mounts, and 4 extended mounts. Now, even with just the pinky mount, I can get a full grip on it. I personally don't like the grip on the Smith & Wessons. I don't like that ovular grip. It just doesn't fit me well. Doesn't fit in my hand well. This fits very comfortably. And even with the extended mag, to me that's even a little too much. It's like I don't really need that, and it just adds size to a gun that was already perfectly comfortable with just the pinky extension. This is perfect. It's lightweight. I think it's like 17 ounces, something like that. Not loaded. The only thing that personally I don't like about it is that it has a safety on it. I don't use safeties. To me, having a safety is one more thing to think about in a dire situation, in a time when you have to think fast. I don't want to have to forget about a safety. I understand, yes, you can put it into your pattern, make a system out of it, but for me, I don't like having a safety. I think having the trigger safety and the internal safety is enough. And really the only other downside is that the sights are milled into the slide and they are all black. So depending on the lighting, it can be slightly difficult to attain your sight line, but otherwise I think that this is a great entry level into EDC, especially for someone who needs something that's pretty concealable. This thing can conceal almost as well as my LCP. The trigger's not bad for an inexpensive gun. The build quality is good. And again, the ergonomics on this are just very comfortable for me. That may not be for everybody because, again, that is something that is very specific to each user. And this is not a detailed spec review. It's just some time at the range with this, some time carrying it, and I've had a good experience with it. It's not something that I utilize all the time. It's just an experience for me. It's not going to replace my Glock 43X as my main carry. It's not going to replace my Glock 19 or 26. And it's certainly not going to replace my LCPs when I need a micro. And because I'm a coach, I'm almost always in gym clothes, and a micro is actually quite important for me. But that is also why I love my belly holster by Bravo Belt. And I'll get into that in a whole other video. But I just wanted to give you a quick review of my time with the EC9s, as I've had it for a few months now. And I'm pleased with it. Took it to the range, fired a few hundred rounds out of it. Had 3 of my sons shoot it. They all shot it well, including my 11-year-old. He shot this very well, and it was extremely easy for him to control. That's pretty important. If you're a new shooter, I'd say you really can't go wrong with the Ruger EC9s. This is not a paid review, not a sponsored video, but I strongly recommend the ec9s as an entry level into EDC. And I know that a lot of users just getting into EDC kind of tread lightly. They enter into the EDC world kind of hesitant. They want something that's light, something that's concealable, something that has a safety often, and something that doesn't feel like a large or full-size firearm. This is definitely a good way to go. I would certainly opt for this over one of the Skies. And holding the Sky in your hand, which I've shot and held, and I don't need to own one, there's no reason to. But if you're looking around $200, $250, you can certainly get a very good ec9s new or even lightly used. This is definitely a good firearm for anybody. And I actually know a handful of people that could buy any gun they want to, yet still go with an ec9s as their EDC. And they have their own set of reasons for that. But for me, this just comes, again, as an experience. But it was a good experience. I'm going to hold on to it. It'll stay in the gun safe, and I'm sure I'll pull it out every once in a while. And my kids will enjoy firing this, because for a 9mm across the board, everyone was comfortable shooting this. So again, the ec9s is definitely a good entry into EDC, or into just having your first handgun for whatever purpose. And I think it's hard to argue that Ruger is really a great company. They produce a wonderful firearm, they know what they're doing, and this is certainly no different. So I wanted to keep this video brief, short, and concise, and right to the point. You can't go wrong with an ec9s. Definitely pick one up if you're looking. Catch you in the next video. Learn to deal with the valley, the hills together.